Hello, hello, hello. All right. Thank God this just worked. I had some little bit of a glitch, and yeah, we're live now. So let me share this with persons. We had a little bit of a small glitch. Welcome. My name is Mark Onoja. So if you're just joining, you're welcome to the Growth Room Live. So I just a little bit of a glitch, and I'm back right now, and yeah, we're live. All right, we're live right now. Let me just change this light to another color. Um, I think blue is better. Blue is better. Okay. We just want to invite one or two persons. We be starting. If you're just joining, thank you. Kind of exercise some patience. If you're watching this, we'll be starting within 5 minutes. So you can as well just forward it to that point, so that you could just get the value out of it. Um, so today I would be sharing on how to manage your business income. So we'll be talking about that. Financial is going to be more of like a financial management class, and I will be talking from the perspective of a business owner. I'm not an accountant. I studied building in school, and I'm an entrepreneur. But I'll be talking about how to really manage your business income from as an entrepreneur. So this is going to be a very good class. So if you're just joining and this is your first class, so this is the series of financial management for small business. But if this is your first time for joining my live, you're welcome. You may need to pause this if you are joining the live. This is the first time you're joining the live, and watch the other two videos I'm going to put in the comment section, the part one and the part two. You need to watch those videos. They are, wow, they're super amazing because I did a lot of breakdown as regards to what we need to learn, and what are some of the things that you need to note when it comes to financial management and financial management practices, right? Um, just you just need to pause the video and go there. So, but that is if you are um, get to follow some of them. But if you have, sit back and just relax. We'll be starting very shortly. I just want to invite some persons like I usually do using my WhatsApp and just Telegram, just my community. Just invite one or two persons. So if you just joining, thank you very much. I hope you can hear me. It's showing that I am very audible. Please go to the comment section and get to type your name, what business you do, and where you're joining from. Share this also with a friend if you can. Right, it's a friend that is a business owner. This class is going to really, really help them, because I am going to be teaching you on how to manage your money, how to manage your finance. And it just occurred to me today that I should write a book as regards to this subject. Um, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to really write a book as regards to this subject. So, um, yeah, I should write a book as regards to this subject, because money needs to be properly managed if you want to grow it. And there's a way to basically do that for a startup and a small business owner. Um, so just last group to post them, and we are going to get started. Uh, BDSP, uh, EDC, BDSP. Uh, All right, I'll be starting now. Thank you if you're just joining. Thank you very much. Good to have you here. Kindly type your name, where you're joining from, and what business you do. Aisha Mutala, thank you. Thanks for that. Um, good to good to have you join. Um, all right, who else? Who else? Who else? So just type your name and what business you do and where you're joining from. Okay, Aisha is joining from Castina. Yeah, I remember I was in Castina in the year 2016. Yeah, that was the last time I went to Castina. Right. Interesting place. Love the northern part of the country, Nigeria. Ezekiel Onwuka, thanks for joining. Ezekiel is joining from Lagos, Nigeria. Sorry. I say Echo. All right. And just trying to invite one or two persons, then we would start. So, last person to invite. All right. So, click like, right? And of course, share this with a friend. This is going to really bless them. Show me it has gone. Show me it has gone. Good. All right. So all right. So you're welcome. So if you're just joining, Adejoke Adelewe. Adejoke is joining from Ogbomosho. Right. Nice to meet you, Adejoke. Yeah, and I've also been to Ogbomosho once. I think I had a class to do there. So, guys, thank you for joining. It's always a great pleasure to have you join me once again. So, my name is, if you're just joining, this is the Growth Room Live with Mark Onoja. My name is Mark Onoja, and I am a business development service provider. I'm a business consultant. I work with startup and I work with small business owners, and I've been doing this for 10 years. Yeah, over 10 years actually, but just to be shy with numbers, I would say for 10 years. It's close to like 15 years. I started working from 2007 from school, and I started working for startup and small businesses. So, yeah, Rotimi Idowu, thanks for joining. Rotimi is into consulting. Thank you for joining. All right, so we have been considering a series. I love to run series. So the series that we've been taking so far in the month of August is on financial management best practice for small businesses. And in the first part, I shared about some things about money. So I just did like an intro to the whole entire stuff as regards to money. We talked about what money is not, why you need to make money in your business, um, when do you make money and stuff. And in the second part, which was last week, we went in further to talk about how to actually make money in your business. We're talking about value. That money comes when you actually create value and you exchange value. Um, and we also talked about money being value being value being anything that can actually create a form of a solution to people, right? Solve their problem, and also apart from just solving the problem, it can elevate them, make them achieve their goals, or reduce their suffering, right? Elevate them means give them a new kind of status, help them to achieve the goal that they want to achieve in life, and of course solve them from the old problems that they're having in life. And your products and services should answer one of those three questions as regards to people. So we talked about it last week. And we said, how do you basically make money? You need to sell. You need to sell your value. You need to take your value to people and let them buy. And then they buy very well. Because one of the purposes of you being in business is that you need to make money. And I normally used to say a shitload of money. All right, fine. So today's class is going to be on financial management, how to manage your income, right? Um, Now, number one, I'm going to be talking as a business owner. Now, one of the things of being a business owner is that not all of us learned accounting. And if you notice, business has to do with three parts, right? It's actually six parts, but you cannot summarize it as three. It has to do with actually for. It has to do with your purpose, which talked about your mission, vision, and your core values. It has to do with your product, talks about your value you bring to the marketplace. It has to do with your processes. I'll talk about processes. And let's talk about processes. Processes is three. It talks about your operational processes, talks about your marketing process, and it talks about your financial process. And it also has to do with your people. That talks about the people that comes to work for you. So I think next month we're going to talk more about HR. I'll try and see how we can talk more about HR for next month. Let's talk about people, especially for some of us that are looking at, you want to start hiring, you are just running this thing on your own, you are tired, and you really need to start hiring. Latifat Olu Piton, thank you for joining. Tifa, right? I know her personally. Tifa from Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you for joining, fashion designer. Okay, fine. So as regards to this thing called business, a part of it is called financial management. And I noticed that most people that start business, like me, right? We stumbled into starting business. Some of us is because of we didn't get a job that we started the handwork that we learned somewhere. And yeah, see, it's already working. Or we're working somewhere and we're tired of just working somewhere. Our boss was making money. We think we to self we can make money and we venture that to make money too. Or for some of us, we just discover that Omo, that I'm not married. I need to create some time for my family and for my kids, and I need to start something, right? Or some people they just have vision. Rarely, actually, in this part of the world, it does have vision. I say I want to go and start business because of vision. So most times people start business because of this, and I just noticed that it's not everybody that had that learned how to manage a business before starting a business. Now, if you were a manager somewhere, you're a director somewhere of a company, and you started a business, you already knew how to manage a business. Maybe not even necessarily the entire business, just some parts before you started. But most people, they never sabi how to manage business. That's pigeon in Nigeria. So, but you already have started business, and financial management is a major part of your business. If you don't really know how to manage money, your business will not grow, right? So, if you want to grow your business, there are three parts in money. There's the making money, there's the managing money, and there's the multiplying money. Making money is really easy. It's cheap. You can make money. Yeah. Arowo Mol. Hey, Jesus. I almost killed your name. Tolu Lokwe, thank you for joining. Precious from Lagos. Tolu Lokwe, thank you. So, so for most persons, I didn't put on my status update. Here, apologies. So some people will finish me. Apologies. Sorry. I need to put this in my status update. Yay. They will fight me. I didn't invite them for life. Sorry. 1 minute. I just remembered my status update on WhatsApp. I am live. Join in. Oh. Okay. I posted, yes. So for a lot of us, we started business without that knowledge on financial management. And if you don't know how to manage money, your business will not grow, right? So today I want to talk from the perspective of a business owner that did study accounting and you need to grow your business. In fact, we have a class we're going to be doing. It's starting 13th of September. It's for a week, and the class is for 20,000, right? And we're just doing an early bird, and it's for financial management. We're going to be talking about financial management. You should join the classes for 20,000. I'm going to post details on it, and I'm also going to post a number you can send a message to join the class. It's just for 20,000 naira. We're just trying to say how we can help business owners to teach you for 1 week on how to structure your finances. And these are part of the things. In fact, I will take a part of the class, but there are people doing the accounting part of my of our business, the startup place, me and my dad's business. They will be the one to do more of the part, but me, I will talk about making money and I'll talk about growing money. Right? All right. So thank you, Joke, for joining. So let's talk about managing money. Now, the first part of managing money is this, that we need to understand the word called management. Now, if you want to manage money properly, you need to understand the word called management. Now, what is management? Management is talk about two things. So we're going to talk about the history of management, then we'll define management, then we'll talk about managing money. So history of management. Management comes from two words. It comes from man and age. Right? So for a lot of us watching this video, we're either a Muslim or a Christian, right? If you don't believe in God, sorry. And a lot of us believe that God created the earth, God created man, and if you discovered when God created man, it's called man age, means that one of the major things God brought man on earth to do is to rule the earth, is to manage the earth for him. So the earth is God's estate. So God brought man to manage it. So the age of man is called management. So there are resources that you are steward or you are in charge of. That is just basically management. You're giving resources that you properly steward it. And when it comes to management, management has to do with number one, the act and the science or the method you put in place to plan, execute, direct, control, monitor resources towards achieving a goal or a vision. So let me repeat myself again. Management talks about all the activities you carry, the art and science, all the activities you carry to number one, plan. We can use initiate, but plan, execute, direct, monitor, and control resources towards achieving a vision, or we can put it corporate objective. So management talks about everything you do, you in your business that involves your planning. So we'll talk about the resources now. We're talking about the resources of money. Money, basically. Planning, planning how you spend money, planning how you make money. Execution means taking action. Controlling means you are ensuring that things that have already gone out of and is brought back. Monitoring means you are checking to ensure that everything is being done properly. Directing means you are telling other people what to do of your money to ensure that you are hitting corporate objective. That is the word called management. Right? So that is management. So today we want to learn about managing of our money as business owner. So I've explained what management is and I've explained the history of management. So let's get deep into this stuff. Now, if you basically want to manage your money, there are some certain financial terms. All right, so I will try as much as possible to break it down very, 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 very simple. Right, there are some certain financial terms that you need to know and you need to have an idea about if you really want to make money, right? So please, you may need to watch this thing again, and you just need to maybe pause and pause when you're watching it again. Pause, think, right? So that you catch it very well. So the first financial term you need to know is a word called revenue. Another word for revenue is called income. Another word for income is called sales. So revenue, income, sales. So revenue is income to income, and it's also income is cost to sales. English. Revenue is equals to income and it's equal to sales. So what it just means is that anytime the first thing you need to note about when you want to manage money is the word called revenue, meaning anytime you make money, meaning anytime you sell, right? You exchange value. You sell a product to somebody and they pay you. That money that comes in is called revenue. It is not called profit. So let me repeat myself. When you sell and they pay you, you have made revenue or you have had income or you have made a sales. Those three words are the same thing, synonymous. So take for example, this is an iPhone 13. I think it's like 600k plus or something. Now, if I sell this phone to you for 600,000, you send 600,000 naira to me. I have made a sale or I have received that I have had a revenue of 600,000 naira. Clear? How this is noted, right? So revenue talks about when you make a sale and you make money. That is the first financial term you need to note. Second financial term is called cost of goods sold. It's called COGS. That is the acronym for it. It's called cost of goods sold. Another word for it is can be called production cost. So cost of goods sold talks about everything it costs you to create this value. Ah, uh, sorry, I need to call someone, right? Someone that stays with me. Happiness. let her get me something. I think there's a bread here. So I'll use that bread as a perfect example. This is not my bread. Please give me this bread. This is my perfect example, but we must learn today. Yes, we must learn today. Thank you. Ha! This as if this corporate. I don't know this bread. Oh. All right, fine. So I live in Lagos, Nigeria. I like Boko bread very well. I used to like value bread, but they're folded up. I wish I knew. Would have looked for a way to buy the business. So this is a bread here, and this bread goes for, I think this bread goes for like 1,000 naira, right? So let's take for example, this is 1,000 naira. It's just to explain this stuff for us in basic stuff. Now, if somebody sells this bread, if the bakery, if I go to the bakery to buy this bread, I buy it for 1,000 naira. What has happened to them? They have made a revenue or an income of sales of 1,000. It enters into their account, right? Now, the next thing is called cost of goods sold. It's also called production cost. So you need to ask yourself, how much does it take to make this bread? Right? So how much does it take to make the bread? The flour, the egg, and everything that you put in place to do that. So let's take this example. This is a cake, right? Everything you use to make this, plus that labor you're going to pay, the factor of the labor you're going to pay. So that class in September, you need to come for that class because we're going to really, really help you as regards to this, helping people sort all of this thing. So that's a lot of money you that spend and all of those things to make sure that this bed is being made. It's called cost of goods. So take for example, it takes you 500 naira to make this bread. So your cost of goods sold or your production cost is 500 naira. So your revenue is 1,000. Your cost of goods sold is 500. Next, another thing you need to also know is called operational costs. It's called OPEC, operational cost, OPEC. It's also called OPEC cost, right? OPEC. So it's called operational cost. So operational cost talks about what are the things you spend money on to run your business. So example, you have staff, you need to pay them. You do marketing. Yes, you need to do marketing. If you live in a house, you pay. If you work from home, like I work from home, but my business pays for my house rent. All right, even if it doesn't pay for my house rent, it pays for a part of my house rent, right? I sort out the rest, so it pays for my house rent. So, but if you work from home, right? If you're married there, take and you are running business from your house, take as much as possible. If your rent is 500k or a million naira, I think it's fair. Your husband will tell me thank you. At the end of the year, if you tell your husband that, oh, ah, house rent is due, take 200,000 naira. Your husband will respect you and your business very well. I've just given you tip, right? Why? Because you need to be paying for that rent, right? But if you have a store, you pay for rent. What else? You pay for light bill, you pay for water bill, you pay for people to clean, stuff like that. Those are operational costs, right? They have the fixed operational costs, they have the variable operational costs. Come for the class, you will learn all of those fixed costs, variable costs. I'll drop the details of the person that you need to reach out to and call to be able to join the class. It's for 20,000 naira. We're just running a we just want to help a lot of persons as regards to the finance management of the finance. So back to what we're saying. So that is called operational costs, what you use to run your business, right? Now, number four, profit. So we say number one, revenue. Number two, cost of goods sold or production cost. Number three, operational cost, right? And number four is profit. We usually like that term. So what is profit? Profit is after you have removed your cost of goods sold and your operational cost from your revenue, what is left for you is your profit. So take for example, back to our bread. Corporate bread. Hmm, this bread has to be sweet. Oh. So I like bread. So corporate bread is for 1,000 naira, right? So corporate bread is 1,000. Now the cost of goods sold, that means the materials, everything you spend to do this bread, labor cost, fuel you buy, all of those things is 500. Your operation cost you take from each of your products is 200 naira. So it means 500 plus 200 will give you 700. The profit you'll be making per bread is 300 naira. They usually call it profit before tax. Sorry, but it's a financial management class. Like I said, I'm not an accountant, so I'm just teaching you based on best practices for financial management that you need to know as a business owner. So profit before tax is 300 naira. So let's repeat it again. Revenue, how much you made for sales? 1,000. Number two, cost of goods sold, what it costs you to create this product, or production cost, what it costs you to create this value, labor, machinery, material, all of those things, time, all of those things, fuel, is 500. Your operation cost, you said for everything you sell, you're going to be taking 200 naira off, right? So 200 naira off your operational cost is going to be what you're going to be using for your um, each of your products. So that is 200 naira. Now, so that is 700. So 1000 minus 200 minus 500. Last time I checked is 700 naira. So 1000 minus 200 minus 500. It's not 700. It's 300 naira. That makes it 700, but this is 300 naira. So 300 naira is what you have made as profit, and usually it's called profit before tax. All right. So, all right. So that is the first major thing you need to know. You need to know of those terms. There needs to be something you can use on your fingertips, right? So you need to know those terms. Now, when you know those terms, then there are three financial documents that an accountant usually prepare for you. And you need to know about these three financial documents. We'll do the three financial documents. I'll just tell you some simple management stuff. Then we can be done for today, because right now I know some of your heads are already turning, but you need to do these things, right? That is how you know whether you're making money or not. So, three financial documents that are usually prepared. The first one is called profit and loss. The second one is called income statement, and the third one is called balance sheet. So the first one is called profit and loss. So profit and loss. So let's talk about income statement. So income statement, right, is just a summary of your inflow and outflow in your business. How much came in and how much left. And one of the things you need to also understand is that as a business owner, cash flow is very important. So your income statement talks about mostly of your cash flow. In fact, I usually suggest to startup and small business owners that are just getting started, don't disturb yourself too much with balance sheets. I don't disturb yourself too much with profit and loss. Be more focused with your income statement. Know how much is coming in and how much is leaving your business. So it just talks about your cash flow. It's like your statement of your cash flow that talks about how much is coming in and leaving your business at a point, right? That is income statement. Then the next one has to do with profit and loss. So profit and loss summarizes how much you made as profit and how much you made as a loss in your business. Sometimes we make loss, meaning the amount you use to make this bread is higher than the amount you sold it for. You're at a loss. But is the amount you made this bread and your operational cost is less than the amount you sold it, you have made profit. Balance sheet basically is more of a holistic document that talks about your asset and your expenditure. It talks about big in the holistic way. Now, I would advise you as a fellow business owner, put more premium on your income statement. Don't disturb yourself too much with balance sheets. Profit and loss, yes, you can also put it there. If you're making loss, you will always start seeing it. But from your income statement, you should be able to do that. So you can go online and do more research on income statement and learn what income statement is. So the first thing we talked about the history of. So if you're just joining us, my name is Mark Onoja. I'm your business growth expert, and you are welcome to the Growth Room Live with Mark Onoja. So the Growth Room is basically something I hold Thursdays, 7 p.m. every Thursday, GMT plus one, 7 to 8 p.m. every Thursday, where I teach people on how to start, grow, and scale their business. And the thing about the Growth Room is that if you join, at the end of the growth room, you would have gotten a tip or an idea on how to grow your business, right? And today we'll be talking about how to manage your money. And we've talked from a series. So you would see in the description of the video later on how to manage your money. The first two classes, you need to listen to the first two classes before this because it's a build up on it. So today we have talked so much as regards to management. So the first part talked about the history of management. We talked about what management is. Now we also talked about um, four things you need to note, four things you need to be used to, right? Four financial terms. You should know them and know how to define them in your business. Then we talked about the three financial documents. Now, to end the class, right? So let's talk about tips on financial management. Some tips on financial management. How do you basically manage your money? Some tips on financial management. The first one is the word called planning. So you need to learn how to plan. Another word for planning is to budget. So to create a plan. So I would advise you as a business owner is that at the end of every month, you can't start doing it quarterly. If your business has grown to the point for quarterly, thank God. But some of it, you have to do it on a weekly basis. If your cash flow means your money you are making very well, money comes to your hand every day. It's not like every other week or every other month, but money comes in, you do that transaction every day. I will advise you to do it on a weekly basis, right? Or you do it on a monthly basis. You need to plan your finances. Now, when it comes to planning your finances, is that you need to be able to budget how much you're going to spend. You need to also plan how much you're going to make. So planning is very important. Number one, plan how much you're going to make. So before I did this class, I just started asking myself some questions like, if I want to be making 10 million naira straight every month, that's what I was just asking myself. If I want to be making 10 million naira straight for me personally, Mark or Noja, not the startup place, what are the things I need to do? I just started creating the plan in my mind. How many books do I need to sell? How many online courses do I need to do? What are the things I need to do? That means if I have a book for 5,000 naira, I need to sell 2,000 to be able to make 10 million naira in a month, right? So I can say I will do 2,000 or 3,000 to sell 15 million. So at least the $10,000 mark. So that is planning. You need to plan how much you're going to make. So you need to look at your product and say, how many of these products will I need to sell to eat this kind of revenue? First is planning. The second one is called budget. So you need to create a budget for your expenditure. I will talk, we can do a class on budgeting. I will say it over and over and over and over again. Budget how much you are spending in your business. Not everybody should just come to your business and just pick money out. Most times you need to start telling people that they come to meet you, oh, borrow me money. Ah, it's end of the month. I used to pay salary. It's end of the month. I used to do expenses. I don't have money right now to. I don't have that type of money right now to give you because you really need to create a budget for how much you're spending. As a business owner, you cannot just be spending money anyhow, right? You can't. You can't. It's going to really cost. You're eating into your capital, so you need to budget. It's another term for planning. So you need to plan how much you're spending. Very important. So how much do you need? So you need to anticipate how much we're going to spend. So you need to look at how much you have been spending monthly. So if to run a business, right? To run a business, not the production, not the cost of goods sold. You should know that now. Does the normal operation cost? Maybe your operation cost every month is like 50,000. So you need to budget that money. Okay, this is the amount I'm going to be spending, right? So if this is the amount I'm going to be spending, now let's keep that 50,000 naira if you can, or keep maybe half of it and start. So because you just know you won't spend more than that 50,000. Anything that will make you spend more than that 50,000 and you throw it away. It's not life and death. I normally tell people if you die today, people will go on. So sometimes you just have to just say some things that are not very important for you to spend the money on. So try as much as possible to budget how much you spend. Budget, create a budget for your business. Create a budget. So the first is to plan your expenditure. The next is to budget what you're spending. Now the third one, I'm going to talk about five things. The third one is to monitor. Monitor where your money is going to and where your money is coming from. So for the startup place that I manage with my dad, I manage for my dad actually. I know where our money comes from. I know what's our big cash cow, what is bringing in more money, right? I know what brings in other kind of cash. I know where we are going to start focusing on. In fact, there are two kind of products we want to start focusing on right now. I have got a staff for one. I'm going to get a staff for another one, and we'll focus on that product because I know that if we focus on the product, we can start churning in some good amount of money monthly by doing that, so that the other money can just be used as profits now, not just operational costs. So you need to monitor. So monitor just means you are checking. You're currently checking, okay, we're overspending money. So there was a time that I think last year we had to let go of someone, right? I won't call names. I don't badmouth people. But we had to go of someone from the company because I just looked at our expenditure because we help staff with logistics. So if a staff is going to a client's facility, we pay for the staff transport. And we now discovered that this lady was stealing from the company. Why? Because I was monitoring stuff. Some of you don't monitor, so people are stealing from you. You don't really know. And she was stealing. She was doubling the amount. So if someone that is 1,000 naira, she will say 1,500 or 2,000. I don't say we had to let her go. Why? Because of our monitoring. So you need to monitor your finances. You need to monitor your business finance. Then that's two things you need to control. your business finance. So when it comes to controlling your business finance, means that control means that things have gone out of hand. You are doing an adjustment. It's different from monitoring. Monitoring is that we're ensuring that things don't go out of hand. Control means that things have gone out of hand. We're doing an adjustment. So the doing and the adjustment is that we're just ensuring that we don't overspend and we stay within our budget. So you should be somebody that they should have to just start getting to know with things like, this is not my budget, this is outside my budget, this is outside my budget, this is outside my budget. You should be somebody that is known for that. It's not bad. In fact, people will hate you, but you will make more money and your money will grow very well. I discovered sometimes last month, if I said yes to everybody that came to ask me for money last month, I think I would have spent like, I would have given away almost 500,000 plus. And guess what? One of my rules is that I don't borrow people money that I am not willing to let go. It's just me. If I borrow you money, in my mind, I'm willing to let go. Don't send me message. I won't answer you if you come for this life. But if I decide to borrow you money, in my mind, I've decided to let it go because I know most times you no go pay back. So that I will see you tomorrow. We'll meet outside and I will be fine with you. I will be able to smile with you. It's a money I can let go that I will usually borrow out, right? So you need to control the amount of money you're spending in your business. Yes, they can call you alaroro in Yoruba terms, means you're stingy, but your money will grow. You need to protect your capital, right? Because some of you, the money you're supposed to use for capital, you're using to dash people and stuff. Omo, you just have to protect your capital. Then finally, you need to execute. So execution means that once you create a plan, follow up with the plan. Simple. So if you create a plan, follow up with the plan. If you create budgeting, follow up with the budget. If you put control measure, follow up with it. And you need to direct your people to do the same thing too. So if you have people working for you in your business, you need to direct them. So for me, everybody in the startup place, we are conscious as regards to logistics. You don't, the person that manages our logistics, I used to always fight with, if anybody send anything, why is this person's money this? How can we reduce it? How can we reduce that? Why? Because of I'm trying as much as possible to reduce stuff. There's a client who are even thinking about letting go. Why? Because they're not paying us and we're spending money for them. There's another client cancel. Because just looked at it, how much the client paying, how much are we spending monthly? It doesn't really correlate. So there's no need. So that is just basically it as regards to financial management. With that, you're very fine. And one tip I could just give you also is that, yes, last tip. Let me give you this one. Last tip. All right. So you need to come for the class because part of what we're going to be sharing in the class is this. So the class is called Financial Management for non-accounting entrepreneurs or non-accounting business owner. It's going to be holding. Of course, I'll share the tip. I remember I'll share the tip. It's going to be holding from 13th, I think, from 13th to 20th of September, starting from the second Mondays in September to Saturday. So we'll do 2 days class, and the other one we're going to be personally coaching you on how to do. So we're going to teach you on how to manage your money. We're teaching you some stuff about making money. I'll take that making money class. Some people will teach you how to manage your money. We'll give you templates. It's just for 20,000 naira. It's for 30,000 naira, but we're running a discount of 20,000. You need to join the class. Why? Because it will help you grow your money, right? Good. Now, finally, for today, if you want to join the class, this is the number to send a DM to. Just send me a DM. I will send you the link for registering and for joining. 6986146 That's my number. Okay, now finally for today, I would also encourage you. I almost forgot what I wanted to say. So finally for today, it's not about saving money. I want to tell you about, yes, finally for today is that you can create a structure to how money comes in. So what you can do is that you can have 3 accounts. I have 3 different accounts. I have the expense account. I hope the network is clear because it's just trying to see if I'm hanging. I have the expense account. I have the inflow account, and I have savings account. So your business, you have a savings account, right? So recently we bought like 3 or 4 laptops at a go. We're able to do that because we're saving. So you have to have your savings account, you have to have your expense account, and you have to have your inflow account. So 3 accounts you should have. Well, your expense account can be like money points, right? Your inflow account, your savings account can be a bank that is not close to you. You don't have access to. You don't save money there. So a part of your revenue a part of your profit should go to savings. Why do you save? So that anytime, so take for example, you want to buy a machine as a business owner, the machine or the machinery is a million or 1.5 million. If you want to go and talk to friends and family, I don't advise you to go and take loan from banks. Sorry, but those people are loan sharks, and our rates in Nigeria are crazy. It's like 40% or 30 something percent. It will eat so much into your profit. But you want to go and take a loan from a family and friend member, and you go and meet the person. Instead of telling the person, I need 1.5 million, you don't have any money. But if you go and meet the person and say, oh, I need to take money to do my business, to buy a resources for my business, an equipment for my business, I have saved 500 and I need 1 million. They will take it very serious. Why? Because they'll say this person is diligent to save. So savings account, expense account, where you spend money to run your business, and inflow, a very good inflow. Then it was GT Bank, but right now, sorry for GT, but right now, most of our big banks, right, are not really functioning very well. So I would just advise us to go use the OPay or the Money Point and stuff. Those ones, they are good. But if you deal with large corporate organization, of course, you have to get. I use Providus Bank. I'll market them for free. I use Providus Bank and they have been awesome. Like they have been really awesome. The other big five banks, you know them. I don't want to call names. They have not been awesome. They have not been awesome. One of them, the founder died like 2 years ago, and since then they have not really been awesome. I use them, but I don't use them as much as before again. I use mostly Providus Bank. If you want to open a Providus account, send me a message. I will tell you, I will link you up to my account officer. So that is it for today. If you have any question, I think I would just like to take one or two questions before we are done. I like the classes to be between 40-45 minutes, right? So that you can still have your evening to yourself. I'm planning to relax this evening. I'm feeling a little bit stressed, so I want to go and catch a movie. So let's talk. Let's talk. So question. So who has a question to ask? So if you have any question to ask, you can drop it in the chat comments. So we talked about the history of financial of management. We talked about um what management is. We didn't even talk about why management is important, but I think you've catch the point. If you can't manage something, you can't grow. I already talked about it. Then we talked about four financial terms you should know: revenue, cost of goods sold slash production costs, operational costs, fixed income, fixed operational costs, variable of operational costs. We also talked about profits, right? Those four things. Then we then talked about the three financial documents: your cash flow, your income statement, right? Your statement of profit and loss, P&L, and your balance sheet. And of course, we then talked about that some certain things you should do to manage your money. You should create a budget. You should plan your expenditure. You should direct your people to do what they need to do. You should monitor what is coming in and what's leaving. And of course, you should put control measures in place. So any questions so far? Thank you for joining today's class. I enjoyed it. It does refresh my mind as regards to some things that you need to note. So if you have any questions you need to ask, you can also drop it in the comment section. Of course, I will respond to it later on. Try as much as possible to sign up for the class I shared about. The class is for 20,000 naira and it's called Financial Management for Non-Accounting Business Owners. So it's for business owners that didn't study accounting, and will be teaching you on how to manage your finance. So thank you everyone for joining. I appreciate you joining. Um, Next week, we will talk about the last part, which had to do with raising capital to grow your business. I'll teach you on how to raise capital to grow your business, and we'll be calling it a day, right? And next month, we'll be talking mostly as regards to HR. We'll talk about HR, about people management, right? I'll be teaching you on how to get people, recruitment, managing your people, and growing your people. So, thank you very much for joining today. I hope you have a good evening, and of course do share this with a friend. Now if you just watch this video, it's the first time you're watching any of my live video, check the comment section and watch the part one and the part two. You need to watch part one and part two and come back to watch this part three, because it's a flow and I want you to follow through the flow. Thank you very much and do enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye bye.